Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name is Lucia. You can find me online, basically on Ravelry and Instagram as Pearl of the Pacific. You can watch the podcast wherever you're watching it, obviously, but it's on YouTube, it's on Vimeo, although the quality is a lot lower, and it's also on my website, which is pearlofthepacific.info. That's P-E-A-R-L, like the ocean pearl, jewelry pearl, that kind of pearl. Not knitting pearl. I know it's confusing. It was a nickname my grandfather had for me. I know I've talked about that before, but that's where it came from. So that's where you can find me. Welcome to episode 19. Today is Monday, March 3rd. Yes, we're in March already. I can hardly believe that, and it's still snowing. Yeah. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a picture of the snow falling this morning. It was lovely. I'm kind of ready for some tulips. I'd really like some tulips, some flowers, anything. Yeah, we're kind of done with winter around here, but I love snow, so I can't complain too much. I did move here with the intention of living somewhere with 4 seasons, so I can't complain too much, but some tulips would be nice. That's all I'm gonna say. Let's get started with Below the Conch Shell, the announcements. I did a special episode last week, which you may or may not have seen. It's a review for my interchangeable needles and their case. This is the case that I got from Poked Edge on Etsy, P-O-K-D-E-J. And I have the Knitter's Pride interchangeable set. So that's the inside of the case. This is something that I just got. But that's everything that's in it, and I love this case. So if you want to see the full review, go check out that special episode. But I just wanted to show it to you. It's been fantastic ever since I got it a couple weeks ago. Next is the February knit along. February has ended. It's now March. Sorry about the cat. Pan, what are you doing? Exploring things on the other side of the curtain. Anyway, February knit along, reds and pinks. Thank you all for submitting pictures of your gorgeous finished objects. I loved looking at them. That was really fun. We had 13 entries. Sorry, 12, because I was one of them and I know I don't count. So, we had a bunch of Valentine's Day socks. We had some mittens, we had a hat, we had a scarf, a couple hats. We had some hand spun, which was gorgeous. I'm not a spinner, as you've probably figured out, since there's no spinning section to this podcast. So I always love seeing other people's hand spun. It's not something I'm terribly interested in at the moment. People always ask me, oh, do you spin? No, I don't spin. I don't really have an interest in it at the moment. Maybe when I'm retired and I have more time, maybe I'll get into it, but right now I'm just really enjoying knitting things, and I'd rather focus on that. And my yarn stash is pretty good. I don't need to add fiber to it. We don't live in a huge apartment, so yeah, we're gonna stick with that. Turn the computer just a little bit. All right. See what else we had. Oh, we had some Christmas ornaments right at the end. That was kind of fun. So I did a random number generator on my phone, and I got number 8, who is Saratoga Knitting, and she submitted the Izzy Cloche. So Saratoga Knitting, please get in contact with me via Ravelry PM, and I will get sent to you your prize. I need your full address, your mailing address. And this is what you get. It came in the mail today. So it's fresh. It's Sorry, I tied the bag and now I'm trying to untie it. You get, ta-da! Oh, upside down. Excuse me. 2 skeins of Knit Picks. Ooh, Knit Picks Felici, or Felici. I say it Felici. Looks like Felici to me. In Spring Mix. So, oh, there you go. It is a self-striping, shades of green. It's actually a lot brighter than it's coming out on the screen. It's very bright, springy greens. And I got 2 skeins of it so that you could make a pair of socks or mittens or something. Because one skein is, they're only 50 grams. They're 218 yards each. And they are 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And they are squishy. So I love Knit Picks Felici, and I know a lot of other people do too. So this is your, oops, I can't turn things correctly. This is your prize, Saratoga Knitting, so please get in contact with me and give me your address, and I will mail these out to you ASAP, because the colors for the March knit along are greens. So if you have something like this in your stash, or if you're Saratoga Knitting, you can use this. So those came in, so it's a little from the mainland for today. A little early in the sections. Get to my show notes here. So yes, that segues into the March knit along. We're doing shades of green. So start knitting on your green projects or finish up some green projects. I know a couple people have already posted things in the thread. I closed the thread early on Saturday for February and opened up the March ones. So go ahead and post your green things there, and I will be drawing a prize at the end of the month for the other thing that I got in the mail, which is a skein of Knit Picks Stroll, hand painted. So it's shades of blue, which is 75% merino, superwash merino, 25% nylon. So, and that's 100 grams, so 462 yards. And it's called Pacific Tonal. I thought the event went very nicely for the podcast. So this will be the prize for March, because the colors for April will be blues. So that's how I'm doing it. Your prize for the month is yarn and the colors for the following month. So I am keeping those in the bag they came in to minimize any cat hair, because everything here gets covered in cat hair. I swear my knitting is all like 90% yarn and 10% cat hair, which is fine if it's gray and white colored yarn, but I don't knit with gray and white colored yarn very often. So yay for cat hair. So get your items in for March now. You've got obviously the rest of the month, so plan ahead. If anyone feels like donating prizes, that is also fully welcome. You can also donate to the podcast on the website. It's on one of the sides. I don't know which side it's on. Whatever side the sidebar is on, that's the side it's on. And there's a little PayPal donate button, and feel free to click away. Not required by any means. I know you use your hard-earned money to buy yarn. I don't blame you. But if you feel so inclined, it is there. Yeah, or if you have yarn from your stash or project bags that you want to donate, that's cool too. Also, alright, anyway, on the island, let's get into knitting before I start gabbing on forever. I don't have a lot on the needles at the moment because I finished some things. So, what I've been working on today is my toe-up Ampersand socks, and as you notice, they are a lot longer than they were last time. I worked on them a little over the weekend, and then I worked on them a lot today. And I'm on the ribbing for the cuff. And I'll probably do another stripe and a half. But these are Biscotte and C? I don't know how to pronounce that. C-I-E. Anyway, this is their Felix base in Paturage. It's a self-striping yarn, which is gorgeous. And I did the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, which is the first time I've done it on a pair of socks for me. So I'll see how I like it. But I love knitting with this yarn. And this is the Taupe Ampersand socks by Bobbie Kraft. They're adapted from the original Ampersand socks are, I think, by Kristen Kapoor, but they're top down. And as you know from previous episodes, I am not a top down sock knitter if I can avoid it. So, these I will probably finish tonight before I go to bed, or tomorrow morning, one of the two. And they are in my Slip Stitch Studios bag, which happens to go with it. It's got green and blue, just like the yarn. I was very pleased with myself having a matching project bag. And of course I have the matching needle nook. This is flannel, so it's really nice. Let's stick that in there. Yeah, this is their sock size, or her sock size bag. It's just one person's, Laura. And there you can see the tag. And it's wonderfully lined, and there's 2 pockets in there, which I love. And this, which I can carry it by, and this, which locks it. So I love her bags. I have a few of them. And the needle nooks, you know, I'm a huge fan of. And the other thing that got worked on was my Harry Potter scarf in my Harry Potter bag by Kicks and Giggles on Etsy. And of course I have the matching needle nook, which doesn't have anything in it yet. It's fairly new. I did order some things on eBay, like some really cheap stitch markers, some more of the folding scissors that I like to have in things. Usually put a crochet hook in there. I'll do that one time, talk about what I keep in my bags as far as tools. But this is the scarf. It is very long. This is where I was. I moved the marker, so this is where I was. You can tell my gauge changed ever so slightly because I haven't been knitting on it in a year, maybe over a year. It's been a long time, but it needed some love. Since I now have the Harry Potter bag, you know, I had to put this scarf in it. It was in another bag that was not a knitting bag. It was, I don't remember what it was. But yeah, that's where I was, and I worked on this last night. And it's just stockinette, a bunch of, I think it's 27 rows of maroon. This is Cascade 220, if I didn't say that, in maroon and goldenrod. And yeah, it's coming along. It's still, I mean, it's about as long as my arms if I just wear it over, but I want to be able to wrap it around, so I have to knit this whole thing again. It shouldn't be too bad. I finished this skein of the maroon, as you can see, so that's why I stopped. Figured I'd get to a point where I can't knit on it anymore. But I will get back to that once I get the ball winder out and the Swift and wind me up some more maroon yarn. But that's fitting pretty well in there at the moment. It's turning out to need a pretty big bag. It's getting pretty large. Alright, that was it for On the Island. I know, pretty small selection. It's kind of the end of my batches. Sorry. Feather in the air. As I think I said earlier, I tend to knit in batches where I cast on a bunch of things and then I knit on all of them and I kind of finish them one by one. And that's kind of where I'm at now. I've kind of been finishing things and then I will cast on a bunch of new things soon. So, I finished the Minion, which I showed last week in pieces, in lots of pieces, so it got a lot of work. It was done on Saturday and gifted on Saturday to my friend. I can try and show a picture. If you want to see it, I did post it on Instagram, so if you follow me, you'll probably already have seen this. And, or you can go look on my Ravelry project page. But that's the little guy. You can kind of see him. It's not going to focus for a while, but that's the little minion. He's probably about almost as big as my head. And he's got a little hair on the top. Those are his teeny little feet. And his teeny little hands. So, yeah. My friend who I made him for absolutely loved him. It's perfect. She really likes minions. So, it was perfect. She loved it. She thought it was so adorable. I said just hide it from the cat when he comes over, because they often take care of our cat when we go away. So just make sure he stays away from it. He tends to think little knitted toys are his. I need to knit him some toys, and then he won't bother Mommy's toys, but that's somewhere later on the list. I'm going to turn this light off and see if that helps with the... Oh, that works a little bit. The Knit Picks Lucia might show up better now. The bedside table is... It's still not as bright. That's a little better. This is more of a bluer light. I had my bedside lamp on and it's more of an orangier light. So that was one finished object. The other one I forgot to grab. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I grabbed my other finished object, which is the Smaug socks for my husband. I'm going to stick it on a sock blocker so you can see it. But they are done! Finished them Sunday morning. And yeah, here's the other one. They are done. I knit them 2 at a time. And this is 3 Irish Girls Adorn sock. Is that the, yeah, in marmalade. And it is very red. It's coming out pretty true to color. It's a little bluer than it's coming out, but it's pretty red. Sorry, my sock blockers are connected, so I'll try to do this without hitting them against the computer. But that's the scale pattern. Going to focus camera, and as you can tell, there's cat hair in there. And that is the foot. You have the, let's show it this way. This is it's supposed to be the tail of the dragon that comes across over the top of the foot. It's very cool. They're very squishy and very large, so that we don't have to worry about them fitting over my husband's feet. And he likes them very much. So, yay! I finished them. I didn't quite finish them in time to count for the knit along, but I can't win prizes anyway, so it doesn't matter. I finished them pretty close. And it was good motivation to get them done. So, those are my gigantic man sock blockers, but I finished them. Ta-da! Washed and blocked them on Sunday as well. And one thing about this yarn that I didn't like was that it turned my hands red when I was knitting it. I've heard of blue dye not setting well, but I haven't heard of red dye not setting well. So I washed them I soaked them in soak, rinsed them out, kind of washed them in soak, rinsed them out, and then let them sit in some more soak. And still a lot of red dye came out. So note to self, when washing them, wash them only with red things for a little while until hopefully some of that dye comes out. But that's the only thing I noticed. I haven't had that happen with any other yarn where it dyed my hands. But I had to like make sure my sleeves were rolled up, especially at work, because some of my collared shirts, you know, come down pretty far. my button-up shirts come down pretty far because it gets pretty cold in my office, so I keep pulling them down. But that was the only thing I didn't like. It's very nice yarn. I loved the yarn. I have worked with 3 Irish girls before, so maybe it's just that red dye in particular, but that's the only complaint I have about it. Otherwise, it was fantastic. I knit them on size 1.5. I probably mentioned that at some point. That's the size I usually use for my husband, because he has bigger feet. I mean, he's a guy. He has pretty average sized guy feet. But he likes things a little stretchier. So I knit my socks on size 1s or size 0s because I like a little tighter gauge, but he likes it a little looser. So that was that. Those are my only set sale things. Let's do some from the mainland. As you saw, got some yarn from Knit Picks. It's nicely in its bag for its prize winners. I also, since I was doing an order from Knit Picks, I got some locking stitch markers, which you can always use more of. I got a darning egg. I will take it out of the plastic so you can actually see it. Because my husband has a pair of socks that he's worn through the heel on. They didn't have a lot of nylon content in them, and I knit them pretty early on in my sock knitting career and didn't realize how important that was, especially for someone who's really hard on the heels of socks. So I need to darn his socks, and this will be helpful. And it was really inexpensive, as most Knit Picks things are. I also got a couple of retractable tape measures. Pretty standard. They're both yellow. So, yeah, I like yellow. Yellow's actually one of my favorite colors, so pretty excited about that. Right now I got some stickers, which I'll show you later, to put on this side, because they don't have anything on them. They're boring. They need something. So, that's all I got this week. No, it isn't. So, let me tell you a little something. We're going to jump sections to the From My Hale. Slashes could also be flora and fauna. I am a member of the Baha'i faith. I may or may not have mentioned that. It's a religion. It's fairly new. It started in the area of Persia, which is now Iran and Iraq, in 1844, and it's since spread all over the world. And it's basically, its main purpose is unity. So we're all about creating communities of unity, and unity of the world, unity of religion, unity of all races and peoples. And basically we're all one human family, and we need to work together to make a better world. So that's the basics of the Baha'i faith. If you want to know more, feel free to ask me. I know this isn't a religious podcast, but I know not everyone knows. It's not as common as other religions, so I thought I'd explain a little bit about it. And since it is new, we also have our own calendar, as a lot of major religions do. And our calendar is made up of 19 months of 19 days. And if you do the math, there are some days left over, because there are 365 days of the year, whereas if you times 19 by 19, it's 361, because there's 4 days left, 5 days on a leap year. And those are what we call the intercalary days, or the days of joy, basically. Our name for them is a Yamiha, which basically means the days of joy. And it's kind of a celebration for us. It's where, oftentimes we'll do a lot of charity things, we'll give gifts to each other. I mean, for lack of a better term, it's the Baha'is Christmas. It's not as big as Christmas, but oftentimes we give little gifts to each other, and lots of celebration, lots of service to our communities, things like that. So we just had a Yamiha. It's right at the end of February, so that conveniently, because it's where the leap year day lands, it's the end of February. So it's the last 3 days in February and the first day of March. That's where it falls. And so we just had a Yamiha, which means I got some presents. So, and some of them are knitting related. One of them I'm wearing, not so knitting related, that my husband just got for me, and I'm actually wearing one of his shirts. It's a Lego Star Wars shirt to match the earrings. But they are Lego lightsabers. There you go, and they're earrings. And they glow in the dark. Yes, they glow in the dark, which is fantastic. I'm kind of obsessed with things that glow in the dark. They're weird obsessions, and one of them is things that glow in the dark, and now I can't find the hole. There we go. So, those are my little Lego lightsabers. Yes, I'm a nerd, as you probably figured out. I like Star Wars. My husband's really into Lego, which means I'm therefore into Lego because Lego's awesome. And Doctor Who, obviously. Which brings me to present number 2. Which is over here. Hold on a second. Okay. One of our really good friends got us this thing, this book. This is the official sticker book for Doctor Who. What he didn't know when he purchased this for my husband and I is that I love stickers. Just like I love glow in the dark, I love stickers. So there are 1,000 stickers in this book. It's fantastic. And the stickers are all in the middle. You can see there are lots and lots of stickers. And along with this book, there are also descriptions of all the major villains in Doctor Who. And there's a space on each of them for you to find their corresponding sticker and then put it in the book. I'm really excited. There's also other like extra stickers that aren't part of the find and stick, for lack of a better term. So, that's just one page of them. I thought, hey, I'll put them on here. And then I'll be able to tell which one's which. Not like it really matters, it's a tape measure, but it's fun that way. And then they can go in my Doctor Who project bags. So, I'm really excited about the sticker book. Yeah, here's where the fun begins. All these tiny little stickers. Anyway, it's probably information overload. That is the sticker book. The minion was something that I knit for my friend for Yamiha. So that's why I had to finish it on Saturday and give it to her on Saturday, because that's when we did our little gift exchange between us and our best friends. So that's what that was about. My husband also got me some stitch markers. Yes, my husband is awesome and got me stitch markers. I have to grab them. I'm not very prepared tonight, I'm sorry. I stuck those stitch markers. Here they are. Actually, I didn't have to reach all the way over there. They were a lot closer. I was smart and put them in my needle case. Oh well. I found some other things in the drawer that I can show you. So these are the stitch markers. I can't remember words. That my husband got me. So you can see them. And they are from Paper and Yarn on Etsy. Maybe if I cover everything else, it will focus. No, it still doesn't want to focus. Silly camera. Anyway, they say, oops, fudge, crap. And I'm okay with this word. Sorry if this offends you. Damn. And then they have a little, there's a little ladybug. That's not going to focus, but trust me, it's there. So I am very excited about these stitch markers. Oh, you can also find them at paperandyarn.com. Oh, now you focus. Now you can see the ladybug. And I've been eyeing these for a while, so I'm very happy. I'm probably going to put them in a sweater project bag because I'm not good at knitting sweaters. So I'm going to have fun with those. That's another thing I got. Something else that, sorry, the cat's trying to get into a box. That we run a youth group, my husband and I, and it's mostly Baha'i youth age. Sorry, I'm going to shut this drawer. The cat's eyeing it. He really likes to play with hair ties, and I hide them in the drawer on my bedside table, so thought I'd get those away from him. Anyway, one, or actually a few of they're not really kids, the youth in our group knit, and one of them knit everyone little hearts. So we have that group on Friday nights. Not like matters to you, but it's something that we do to bring the youth in the community together to, you know, they talk about service projects, they talk about, you know, their role in the community and how they can create a more unified atmosphere and all sorts of things. It's basically a place to have meaningful conversations, you know, things where you talk about more than the weather, what the latest celebrity did yesterday, or, you know, who's, you know, with who at school or whatever, you know, to have more meaningful, deep conversations. So it's something I had as a youth, and I really appreciated it, and so it's something that my husband and I are giving back to our community to provide that for the youth. I enjoy it. I enjoy having meaningful conversations with the youth. So it's pretty fun. You joining me now, Kat? It's been all over the place. Anyway, we had a little gift exchange at the youth group, and my husband and I got a year of fortunes without the cookie, which is great because I'm gluten intolerant and can't eat the cookies, so I get a whole year in fortunes without the cookies. So let's look up today's. So there's one for each day, and they have the lucky numbers on the back. You actually can tear them out. I'm going to leave them in there, but for now. Alright, March 3rd. You will be poor, and you will be rich. You will like being rich better. I think so. Wise little book. So, that's it. Another thing in the From Your Holiday Flora and Fauna, this expanding section here, is that after the days of joy come the days of fasting. So we have a month-long fast, well, a 19-day fast, our month-long fast, where we do not eat or drink from sunrise to sunset. So that is what we are doing right now. So I've been getting up very early in the morning to eat and drink a lot of water before going to work. And I really enjoy it. It's a time of reflection. You know, it's sort of like the Christians have Lent. It's a time of reflection. It's a time of focusing on things that are not, you know, material. It's a time of appreciating, a time of gratitude, you know, a time of, you know, preparing ourselves for our new year, which happens to be the first day of spring. Although it's looking like it'll be a very snowy first day of spring. But we'll see. Maybe it'll start melting by then. One can hope, right? So that's a little bit about me. I don't mind the fast. There's a certain point in the afternoon where your brain kind of shuts down. It's fine. I've done it for, you know, you start when you turn 15, and there's exemptions, you know, if you're pregnant, or, you know, if you have, you know, heavy lifting or exercise, you know, if you're training for something, or, you know, if you're a certain age or you have health issues, obviously you're exempt from the fast. But I actually really enjoy it. I really enjoy the time of reflection. I'm a morning person, so I don't mind being up early. I kind of enjoy it. Sorry, cat's knocking things over. And before I start rambling a whole lot, let me see what else is on here. On the horizon are a few things that I've definitely mentioned before. You'll see them next week in On the Island. Gabbing and funny things is a kind of new section. I kind of do the gabbing part anyway. So, one thing I wanted to share is that with the very cold temperatures, which we've now termed the polar vortex, people have been doing things to make fun of said polar vortex. And if you want to laugh at something hilarious about the polar vortex, go on YouTube and search for Flula. That's F-L-U-L-A, polar vortex. He is a DJ from Germany who is really adorable. And he does this song about the polar vortex, and it is hilarious. We've been sharing it with everyone and laughing for days. So, if you want to laugh about our ridiculously cold weather this winter, go type in Flula polar vortex on YouTube and search for it. It's hilarious, and you should share it with all your friends. It's clean humor, so don't worry about, kids will enjoy it as well. I'm not big on the swearing or dirty humor, so I like good, clean humor. So I wouldn't share things that were not that. You want to come say hi? Hello. Alright, good night. Bye. Have a great week, and I will see you next Monday. Bye. Okay, could care less. You're funny. Alright, you can go.